Capper, Luna, A True Love by Swedish Gabby. Quite recently, Capper had just moved to Ponyville after that he decided to remain there. But ever since he moved to Ponyville, he felt almost like an outcast. At first he had no friends, but luckily he had only the Twilight and her friends. He was afraid that none of the ponies will like him, but it turns out the opposite. Many of the pony's residents actually adore him. He tells them a lot of things about his past home, about his part of the liberation of Canterlot from Storm King, and even that. But it's just one thing he wants the most: to find his special son pony and settle down and start a family someday. Even he has been on a few dates and a few males, like Rarity, for at least 2 dates before Spike admitted his true feelings for Rarity. So Capper decided not to continue with her, so he decided to date Applejack, Fluttershy, and even Twilight after a few times. But he didn't feel the right connection to any of them. But there was one he did like the more, and that was actually Princess Luna. Of all the other ponies in Equestria, Luna was the only one that he spent a lot more time with. She often is actually in Ponyville for visit to Twilight a few times in each month, but then she also spent time with Capper. She is very interesting to hearing about his past history, like his life before he became a hero and savior, one of the saviors of Canterlot. Even that Capper didn't want to speak much about his criminal past, but he did it of his free will, and over time, Capper has started to have some emotions for Luna. And soon, every time when Luna was in town, they often took walks together through town and just talking. And just one day that after that Luna returned to Canterlot, rumors were starting to talks in Ponyville. The talks were about Capper and Luna as dating. But they weren't dating. But Capper didn't expect to hear that kind of rumors at all. He thought that the rumors would say that Capper and Luna were just good friends, but this was not what he expected. The rumors, he thought they was going to stay in Poland, but it turned out not to. They quickly spread across the entire nation, and soon every pony knew about it, including Luna. Even if Capper had some strong feelings for Luna, but he wanted to tell her in person. But at the same time, he was not afraid that Luna would just laugh at him after that he admits his true feelings for her, after all these rumors is going on. And the rumors continue all the time. It just seems to have faded away. Every time Capper was outside, he could see ponies just talking, whisper to each other, and point at him, and sometimes thinking here, do you think he would marry Luna? I don't know. I don't know if they were dating. But Capper had tried to convince his friends they believed him. Because they know that he has some feelings for Luna. But even that, he tried to convince some other opponents in town, but there were only a few that believed him, like Vinyl, Octavia, and even Big Mac, one of his true friends. But the others didn't want to believe it. Some others thought that he tried to stop these rumors and spreading some false rumors and other rumors. But it wasn't any rumors. But he wanted to make this rumor stop. But he couldn't do it. Every time he was outside, he could hear this talk everywhere he went. So he decided, with help from Twilight, teleport all the way to Canterlot so they can talk to Celestia and Luna about this. So make stop of these rumors. But Capper had something else in mind. He was actually going to tell Luna how he feels for her, and that he wants to date her. Even if she says no, that she is only interested in him as a friend, nothing more. That would be a big blow for him, but he would understand and take it very hardly. The next day he actually went to Camelot with Twilight beyond by teleporting. They actually talked to Celestia and Luna about this. And Celestia didn't exactly know how to stop these rumors. Even if they told the ponies to stop about this and that all these rumors are false. But in fact, it wouldn't even work, because that would make the suspicious of the rumors even more suspiciously. So during the talk, Capper actually looked up to Luna and asked if she wanted to go out with him. Both Twilight and Celestia were not prepared for that kind of question. Luna was very surprised herself, but she said yes. And in fact, they went out the same afternoon. They went to a local restaurant, and when some police actually walked up to them in the restaurant to ask if this rumor was true, and they confirmed it. This was their actual first date, but they didn't tell it. They said that they were dating, and the rumors were true. And soon after that, the rumors stopped. But now we was talking about how cute they are together, since Capper is a different species, that he's a cat and she's a pony, an alicorn. Many ponies have thought this was not going to work because they are different species. But just think about it. Since recently Spike and Rarity became a couple, and they were two different species, so that thought about that stopped. So the ponies started treating them both as normal. Even Capper wanted to spend more time with Luna. Even he wants to stay with her over time. He had considered one day to perhaps marry with Luna, but at the same time he was very, very unsure if they would even work between them. He was told by Twilight and Applejack to take one day by a time, not to get rushed into something that might not even can work. At first, he didn't want to listen to that, but since he recognized the signs of a relationship and that he had to take step by step to make it actually work. He has seen several couples out throughout his time in Equestria. Those didn't work out so well. Some of them actually ended in a bad breakup. Others decided to break up because they didn't work. He wanted to make this work, and he did. But for the most part of their time together, they either spent time in the castle garden to have a picnic, or perhaps just watch the stars together in the castle garden. Even though they celebrated their 2 years anniversary together, Kappa had given her a necklace formed with a moon and two stars next to it. It was the most beautiful, also were the probably the most expensive he ever bought to Luna. But luckily for him, Twilight helped him for the payment. But even though sometimes Capper actually remained in Camelot, sometimes for a few days, sometimes for a week, since he hadn't actually had any particular work in Ponyville, he decided to remain a little bit sometimes often a little bit longer in Camelot so he and Luna can spend so much time. Even though it happened that sometimes that she couldn't be there because sometimes she had to go away for diplomatic travels to either Mount Eris to see the sea ponies or Arabia or Metonia. He wanted to spend time with her even if she's away, and he knows that how much she loves him, and he loves her so deeply. But in most of this time, Capper had never been in so much love before, ever. And one time, when they were in Camelot, during night, they were walking back to the castle. Suddenly, 4 ponies appeared middle of nowhere, trying to rob them. But Luna used her magic to teleport them safely into the castle. At the same time, after they came back to the castle garden, Capper had something in mind to ask Luna. He actually asked her something, and then he went on knee and showed her a small box with a ring. She was not prepared for a proposal as so soon, after 2 years being together. Capper was really looking forward to spend the rest of his life with Luna, even if at times spends much time with her. When he asked her, she said yes. Right immediately they went to see Celestia. And Celestia, she was very excited and so happy for her little sister. And the wedding was actually held in Crystal Empire only 2 months later. Celestia was being asked by Luna to be her bridesmaids and that Cadence to perform the ceremony. Spike had been asked to be the best man and that Twilight to be the ring bearer. Capper and Luna had so much fun at their wedding, and later they actually went to Saddle Arabia for a whole 3 weeks for their honeymoon. They had so much fun on their honeymoon, like exploring the city, trying some new things. It's mostly the things to watch the sunset and even the moon rise over the desert. And over just barely 3 years later, Luna told Capper that he was going to be a father. He was very surprised, and they weren't even expecting to have any children so soon, but they both was actually very excited and a little terrified to be parents, but they were proud to be parents. And soon their daughter was born, and they named her Lunar Paw. Lunar Paw was actually half cat, half alicorn, but she was very talented in magic like her mother before. She was very gifted in magic, but also brave, strong, but mostly childish. When she was just only 5, she loved to pranks on the guards and even her parents. But they loved her even they punished her not to prank too far. And then she wanted to be something else. Even she was a princess. She wanted to be a royal guard. And after that, she was 20. She actually became a royal guard. And she fell in love with another royal guard, and they had 4 daughters of their own. And that's how Luna and Capper found a true love, got a family. The end.